Hello, everyone. Today we're live with Vincent, our client in Brand Builders Academy program. Amazing individual, very smart entrepreneur. His background is scientist, from what I know, and he is now running e-commerce business, doing $3,000 a day. So, would love to learn from your experience. Would love to learn from the things you have learned so far on your journey, and to share some inspiration, motivation for people. So. Thank you so much for joining me.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. So yeah, I know you were like a scientist in the past. Can you elaborate on that part of your journey?
Yeah, I was. I work in biotech, so I used to be a scientist from Pfizer. I used to make like medical device to detect people's infectious disease, and then I got laid off. So yeah,
Oh
pretty
wow.
much that's it.
So you got laid off. Like when was that? When did that happen?
So I got laid off in April of this year.
Wow. This is like did you expect to get like laid off? Like was it kind of like something that like you saw coming?
Uh, Honestly, not really. Not from Pfizer because they had a layoff like not too long ago. So then I thought like they have money, I'm gonna be okay for a while. But then it just hit out of nowhere, and yeah, and just just living on EDD, basically like some kind of unemployment, aids. So yeah.
Man, that's crazy. And it's like I think just like for everyone to I mean, when you work like 9 to 5, even in like big company, it seems to be like stable company. It's like you
Yeah.
you you never know. Like it's there, the concept of like job security. I think it's like non-existent pretty much.
Yep. Yep. You always have to like find a plan B, or have a plan B ready just in case if like something's not going right.
For sure,
Yeah.
my man. And so, how was like so before like when was that point for you? Like when you started like learning about different online business models, like e-commerce, and like you decided to take some steps in that direction.
Yeah, I actually started in college. I tried just playing around just because like I think my friends were making money from it, and then I started it, and then I didn't know what was going on, so then I didn't make money. But then I've always wanted to, do something on my own. I feel like the 9 to 5 title is just out there. But then for me, I always wanted to kind of like do something and make a some kind of generational wealth. So then yeah, it's always in the back of my mind. So then I'm just when I got laid off, it's just like okay, maybe this is not for me, because then actually that wasn't the only time I got laid off, because before that I also worked for 2, 3 other companies, and then every single time is because I got laid off. That's why I have to look for another job. So then I kept getting laid off up until Pfizer to a point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna put my hand into this. I'm just gonna go full ecom mode. So yeah.
You're unemployable. It's like I'm
Yeah.
unemployable too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a. I feel like it's a pretty like it's easier to find a job, if you have the experience. For me, I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna just go full entrepreneur mode. So yeah.
Yeah, my man. And it's I was reflecting on this as well. Like, let's say the same work ethic, right? I mean, because every job, like you have to work, right? And
Hmm.
you have to put your best effort in.
Hmm.
And like if you put the same amount of effort into something that's your own, like over the period of time, like the upside is so much higher.
Hmm.
Just like yeah, short term it might difficult. You might be figuring out some things, you
Right.
might be accumulating those skills, but then long term, if you commit to something and that's something that has like long-term potential, it just
Hmm.
makes so much sense. Like I mean, like
Hmm.
you said, building generational wealth, like taking care of your family, helping your family, being in that position to help, it's not
Hmm.
something that happens by accident. Most people are
Right.
not in that position because they're not in the right vehicle in the first place. Like you can work very hard at like 9 to 5, like for the rest of your life, and then it still won't
Mhm.
get you to the outcome that you want.
Yeah, yeah, you have to put in like so much work. Even though in the beginning it'll be like a little bit turned down, you know, a little bit like discouraging, but then you just have to be a lot more consistent than a 9 to 5 job. You have to put in a lot of work. You have to like focus. You know, you have the right mindset and stuff. But the rewards is always going to be a lot more. Yeah.
For sure, my
Uh
man.
huh.
And so, how was your family was supporting you? Like it's like, hey, I want to do e-commerce. Like, how was that conversation?
Yeah. I mean, I think uh, at think at first I told my parents about this. They were at first they're like, no, like you, they're scared because then you're gonna lose a lot of money. Because I feel like most of the parents, you know, even though they want their kids to go into entrepreneurship, but then they always have this feeling that are they gonna lose all my money? Like, are they gonna tell me to invest or like so like that? But yeah, I mean, they were at first they're a little bit denial, but then at the end they were kind of supportive. They were telling me because then my family from China, they were like, oh, you know, in China they've been e-commerce in China has been popping for years. You know, like we can always tell you about what's a good product. You know, what's good to sell. And then like so right now they've been pretty supportive about my business. And then they're like we can rent a warehouse for you if you wanted to like store here and stuff like that. So it's been going on. I feel like it's been going on the right track so far.
Nice, man. Yeah, I think it's, like even with my parents, like I didn't tell them like I got into business and
Uh-huh.
started my own business until like I was already like a millionaire. Only then I told them because they were like, "Hey, you have to work 9 to 5." I was working on a factory. It was like almost like 9 to 9, like. But
Yeah.
so I think initially they kind of like you said, um, they're in that like kind of denial mode, or like they want to protect you as their as their
Hmm.
child. But
Hmm.
then if you project like again like how much you can impact their lives, right? Like when your business grows, like you can support them, you can retire them, like you can do so much more impact that it simply won't be feasible if you didn't take that initial risk at the beginning. And
Hmm.
so, and every generational wealth, like as you said, it starts with one person that decides to take that risk. And at the beginning of their journey, like most of those people that are taking those risks, they're not very much like supported by people around them. People think they're crazy, like people think they're like it's too risky, and like, but then
Yeah.
like, you know 5, 10, 20 years later, it's like, geez, I mean, we're so glad that person took that risk, because now like
Yeah.
that person carries like the whole generation, the whole family forward.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always a risky person. I feel like I'm always playing for the high rewards. So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I feel like it's gonna be a long journey. Obviously I'm still learning. To like right now is I'm not really making generational wealth yet, but I'm sure one day I will.
I mean, you're making good progress. Like, I mean, you so
Thank
you
you.
you you got your business like to tricky a day now, right?
Sorry, what?
You got
Can
your
you?
you got your store to like $3,000 a day in sales.
Yeah, I think the record high was like 3.8. Um, but yeah, not bad. I feel like scaling is scary, man. It's the scariest thing ever.
I remember my own, like, I was spending like $100 a day on ads, and like I was scared like shitless.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, is it gonna make money? Is it gonna lose money?
Yeah, and then over time you just build the tolerance, and it's like it's like any sports or any skill. Like the better you become at it, the more you feel like you are in control,
Hmm.
the more
Hmm.
skilled you are, because like that if even if something doesn't work, you know how to fix it. And like the more you start connecting the dots, and I think you have you have that like scientist, kind of like analytical background. Like I think this will be a piece of cake for you.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's still you have to learn a lot of stuff. You have to be confident about like what you do. You have to like always be changing. You're gonna always adapt to what kind of audience are you getting. Like so. Yeah, just getting there though. Getting there.
Awesome, man. So did you consider any other business models like besides like e-commerce? So you played with e-commerce in college, and then like did you look into any other business models?
Yeah, of course. My friend who also did Facebook. I mean, not Facebook. I mean, excuse me. I mean, Amazon. I looked into Amazon for a little bit, but I realized for Amazon you need to have like like such large amount of money just because like they take a whole chunk from you. It's if you want to sell a product that is like, let's say, around like $20 to $30, they take at least like 60%. So if you don't have huge amount of money to start with that, it's going to be hard. So that's why I just hop back into Facebook or Instagram, Facebook ads and stuff. So yeah.
Did you at any point like thought like, oh, e-commerce too saturated, it's like too late to get in, like is it even real? Like did you have any of those kind of beliefs before?
Um, I did. People telling me about like, oh, e-commerce is getting a lot harder now. But then, I kept thinking of like, it's gonna get a lot harder, but like, not everyone's gonna be as consistent as you. Not everyone's gonna have the same strategy or like same skill set as you. If you really just watch all the videos, learn from each other, learn from others, then you're gonna be better than them. There's always people doing the same thing. You just have to like outbreak them.
Mm. That's such a great perspective. I
Yeah.
mean, in any business, there is like no matter what, like no matter the economic environment, no matter what, like there's always people that are doing well, and there's like people that are not doing well. And all
Hmm.
you have to do is just, okay, so what do those people that are doing well, what they're doing, and just model and replicate what they do.
Yeah, I mean, like you always have to compete. Like in today's world, I mean, like even do anything. You be a content creator. There's thousands, millions of content creators out there. Like, how are you gonna like? People are always gonna be scared. If you just keep giving yourself excuses, then you're not really gonna be out there. So
Hmm.
so yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a good point too. Like the amount of there's like people look, oh, it's like what's not saturated, like what's like kind of like they're
Uh,
looking for industry or the same, they apply the same mindset to searching like products or kind of like what's not like very kind of saturated. There's not a lot of competition. There's competition everywhere, and competition is actually a good sign. All you have to
mhm.
do is like identify among all of that competition, it's like who's doing the best and who's
Right.
doing the worst, and like learn from people that do something bad and also from people that are doing something right.
Yeah. I mean, like if you're not out there competing, then what's the point? Like this. I mean, like there's always path for like easy money, but then like for those like good money, they're never easy. So yeah.
For sure.
Mhm.
So yeah, guys, please drop your questions here as we have a conversation with Vincent. Drop your questions so I can ask him. I already see some questions popping up here. I have lots of questions from my side, so that's my questions, your questions. So we just learn as much from Vincent as possible. So okay, so e-commerce, like what was your like that first period, like once you started, like once you got back into it, you got now obviously like you didn't have the job, so now you had more time to dedicate to the business. Like how was that initial like period? Like what did you do? Like did you build the store right away? Did you take a lot of time planning, like
Mhm.
researching? Like how was that initial process for you?
Yeah, I think when I first got laid off, I was like super motivated to do this e-commerce. So then I did all the product research in like just a couple of days, and then like I watched the video from BBA, and then at first when I did my site, it took me a while. It took me like maybe like at least 2 weeks to basically learn like how to design, how to make everything looks good, and then but that was like I was still testing product, and after that product, I was just being like a little bit more efficient. I was starting to build the website in just under one day. Taking one
Mm.
day to build a website and just testing out products like that, because I want to be quick. So I would say like I joined maybe in I think in April of BBA of this year, and then I really wasn't making any sales until maybe I'd say July to August. That was like I think up until the third or fourth product that I started testing, being a little bit more, okay, I see what's going on, like how am I going to make this better? How is this product? How is my landing page is going to be good? And yeah, and then now when I picked up the flow, I changed the product again because my conversion rate wasn't good, and then changed the product again, and then I was like, this time I know how to do this. This time, like, I'm gonna make everything right, and then built the site, and then like make sure my landing page is good, make sure my ads is good, make sure like everything is good, and then I kind of just popped off.
Man,
Yeah.
this is such a great. I mean, the way you explain it, it's like initially, like no matter what you do, right? No matter what skills you want to acquire, you'll probably suck, right? Like if I
Right.
start something new that I've never done before, I'll suck. Like there's no way around it, right? And then over time, you just learn from that, and you become more efficient. You know what works, what doesn't. The biggest thing though is that like to get started, like get started, even if it's like small, even if it's like inefficient, even if your website is ugly, even if you didn't choose the right product, even if you like made so many mistakes like at first, over time, as long as you're like, okay, you want to make it work, you really really want to make it work, just look in the data. Okay, so what did I do wrong, right? Or if you have someone like our community where you can ask for feedback, okay, so what did I do wrong here? You're getting feedback, you're getting some help. Okay, so you're learning from each one of those experiences, and then over time you just start to suck less and less and less, and
Yeah.
it's like inevitable, like with every skill, like when you're driving a car, you're driving a
Hmm.
bicycle, like when kids learning to walk, initially they can't walk, they just crawl, and then they take first steps, and then they fall down, and then because
Yeah.
I have two kids, I'm just kind of like observing
Right.
how
Uh-huh.
they evolve. And it's like, I think, for people, because there's a lot of people that want to do e-commerce, but they have all of these like beliefs, it's like, oh, I want to get it, and I want to get it right from the first time, and I want to make it perfect. And that is the belief that like stops them from taking the first steps. And just like also when they're not getting those first results very fast, they're getting disappointed and demotivated. They start doubting themselves
Mhm.
because they think like, yeah, it's if it didn't work out from the first time, that's it. And in many
Yeah.
cultures, I think as well, like I don't know how about your culture in China. Like I grew up in like Soviet Union. I mean, I was born like Soviet Union was still around, and
Uh-huh.
in our culture, like if you don't do something right from the first time, that's it, game over. Like it's
Yeah.
you're not allowed to make mistakes. Whereas
Uh-huh.
entrepreneurial culture in America, like
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. It's like even in Silicon Valley where you live, right,
Uh-huh.
in
Uh-huh.
that area,
Uh-huh.
entrepreneurs are actually encouraged to fail and make mistakes. And
Right.
okay, you fuck up, okay, even the company didn't work out, at least
Uh-huh.
you tried. So I think there's like different like mindset to this, but that mindset is like literally all the innovation. Like when you're
Hmm.
trying to build something, you're trying to do something, it's like you will inevitably make mistakes. So
Yeah.
just like for people listening, just don't be so hard on yourself. Like you made a mistake, you fucked it up. Everyone
Hmm.
fucks up. Like billion-dollar companies fuck up. Like
Yeah. Correct. I mean, like, I haven't seen one entrepreneur where they just describe like it's always going to be it's always smooth for them. They never struggle in life. They started business, everything just going well. I haven't seen. It's always going to be a roller coaster. It's always going to be failure. That's how you learn. I mean, it's the truth. So yeah.
for sure, my man. And it's like, and I think the big part of that is kind of like how entrepreneurship is kind of glorified and showed like on social media.
Hmm.
People usually show their lifestyle, like the life they live, but they don't show a lot of the stuff behind the scenes.
Hmm.
Like all of the things that are happening and all the things that are not going right. And so people like watching that, they might have a perception that like business is all like sunshine and rainbows, where in reality, I mean, there's good moments and like you're making money and like everything's going well, but there's also some things that you have to overcome. There's some mistakes that you're making that you have to fix, and it's constant learning experience, constant evolution. But
Hmm.
it's like in that process, you just become better as human because you are forced to acquire new skills. You're forced to become better. You're forced to become more patient. You're forced to
Uh-huh.
become more analytical. You're forced to look at your mistakes and reflect on them and become better, and that's how we evolve.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, that whole process and journey of growth is what makes it so exciting.
Yeah. Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, exactly. So when choosing products, like what are like, I mean, you've tested several products, like multiple products didn't work out for you. Like, what were the major lessons you've learned from that experience?
Um, I feel like my product choosing is a little bit different than other people. I guess like from now, like starting like I guess like right now, because in the past I would, you know, like you said, I would focus on like health. How can we improve you know, people's lives? For example, like something like looking for something that can make people comfortable. But now I've been switching. Now I'm more focusing on niches. So for example, I would if I would do like Hello Kitty, you know, or like basketball or like you know a lot of like niches that have a lot of fan, you know, that has a lot of fandom. So then that just kind of like what I've been focusing on. Just because I think my friends were doing the same thing, and then he told me that like fans they will spend crazy money for it, you know, for anything they love. So anything that has a fan base product, I will focus on that. That's how I choose my product. Even though it's not going to be like a one product store, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be like you can do like a multi product. So yeah, like wow factor basically.
Hmm, got it. And so, like, where do you usually like search for products? Do you like spy tools? Do you go on Facebook? Do you go like Facebook ad library? Like, what has been your best way to find
Well,
products?
I started off with Minia, Minia,
Uh huh.
and then I kind of stopped. Now I just go on like Chinese TikTok.
Hmm.
I do have Chinese TikTok. So I because and I just scroll on random stuff because then the products in China is just it's crazy, man. They're like so different than in US. Or I just talk to a supplier and I just talk to a supplier, be like, what's some maybe like good selling product like people are selling, and then they'll kind of give me a list, and yeah.
Got it. So you're looking, you kind of like you're thinking outside of the box here. Like you want to find products that maybe like not as like popular or have not been like as like exhausted yet by other people.
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah. But like but it's also popping in China.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
because then a lot of this stuff are popping in China first, then you know the US were like being international. So I go on Chinese TikTok to see what's good out there. You know, I go onto TikTok shop to see like most popular product by this month or like for the previous year or something like that. And yeah, or sometimes I go on Medium and I look for product that was like famous maybe like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then maybe try that product.
I love it. I love it. You know, the way you're thinking about this, like, I mean, using your competitive advantage, right? You speak Chinese, right?
I do.
Yeah. So you speak
I do
Chinese,
have.
right? So you're using that to your advantage. Like the same way, like for example, you know, for all of the entrepreneurs, let's say from Europe, right? Let's say,
Hmm.
you know, someone is from Sweden. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
you speak Swedish, that is your competitive advantage. You can
Hmm.
sell products. I actually have very simple. Is that from China, this cup?
No, it's from Germany actually.
Oh, Germany. I have very similar. I was in China like 1 month ago, and I got very
Oh, nice.
similar one. It's a
Oh,
China
nice,
one.
nice. From Starbucks. Starbucks Germany. Yeah.
Yeah, from Starbucks. So, yeah, like let's say someone is from Sweden, speaks Swedish, understands like Swedish mentality. For them, it's like it's competitive advantage, right? Like I don't speak Swedish, like I would have
Hmm.
to like learn it or hire someone from Sweden who really understand that mentality. But like for
Hmm.
them, let's say to take the product that works in the US market, like I know like there's a lot of people in our community, a lot of people that I know that are like crushing like in these European markets because they
Hmm.
understand the mentality, they speak the language, right? So they
Hmm.
just take products, let's say, that work in the US market and just adapt them to their local market. So
Right.
that's just thinking from the business standpoint. Like in business, you always have to look for the competitive advantage. The
Hmm.
same way, like you're going to Chinese TikTok and looking for those products. You're using your particular skill set, your particular
Right.
circumstances to your advantage. I love that.
Yeah, you gotta know your own, like what stands out from yourself, and then use advantage of that. You take advantage of that. So those are very important. Yeah.
And
If
another
I
another
speak like French, I would start making French ads and just throwing it in French country. That's what I would
100%.
do.
For sure. And like another thing that you mentioned is that you're going to take, I mean, pretty much probably everyone's watching like this right now is like on TikTok, most likely, right? Like most people have TikTok on their phones, but they're looking on TikTok as a consumer, right? There's like entertaining content, they're watching
Yeah.
videos. There's a lot of stuff that just like sucks your
Uh-huh.
attention and time.
Uh-huh.
But like you're looking at TikTok as a producer. Okay, so what
Hmm.
are the products that I can actually sell? What's popping off, right? So
Hmm.
there's a it's a totally different mindset and totally different intention how you're using social media, because social media is a tremendous tool if you use it properly. If you just use it to get entertained, obviously nothing will change in your life. But if you use it to your advantage and see what's selling, what you can also sell, like that's you thinking as a
Yeah.
producer, as entrepreneur. And I think
Correct.
that is a massive mindset shift that can help a lot of people.
Definitely. I think my brother is definitely a consumer because the only difference between me and my brother is that every time he see an ad, he will be like, "This is an amazing product. I'm gonna buy it." For me, it's like, "This is an amazing product. I'm gonna sell it." Like, these are
Mm.
like the two kind of people, the scroller and like the researcher. Um, and so yeah, you have to like really make sure what kind of people you are. It's
Wow, man,
important.
this is such a good one. Scroller versus researcher. This is a good one. This is a good one. Should
Yeah,
take
I mean,
note
like
of
I'm
that.
always just looking for stuff, looking for inspiration, looking for stuff. My brother is just like, give me the content. I need like content. I need to like, I'm hungry. Feed me the content. But yeah.
For sure, man. So someone asked me to ask you about your mindset. So how your mindset has evolved, for example, since you went on this like entrepreneurial journey, like how in what ways do you see your mindset has changed when it comes to business, when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to e-commerce?
Um, at first, I'm like I'm a pretty optimistic person. I'm usually positive. Uh, but I'm not gonna lie, it does, you know, shook you a little. It's gonna hit you like pretty hard from the beginning, just because it's like, it's failing, it's not working. You wondering if it's gonna work, but kind of shaped me into a better person. Because I did, for e-commerce, I actually did took like maybe a month or 2 months off, just because like I was like, I'm not seeing like results, like I don't know what to do. Should I like relearn about e-commerce and stuff? So after the 2 months, I came back and I was like, okay, like let's do this. Like I already started. Like so yeah, I feel like the one mindset behind is like, don't forget why you started. You know, that's important
Mm.
because like if you were to quit in the first place, then why do you even start? So the mindset is just like be super persistent, know exactly what you want, and then stick to it. Have a tunnel vision for it. There's always, like they say, they always like light at the end of the tunnel. So then it might be dark right now, but then if you keep doing the same thing, if you restructure your business, think about like what's going on, then you will see light at the end.
For sure. And like, having conversations with so many entrepreneurs, this is like 'cause people imagine this like entrepreneurial journeys, like you start and like this, like in
Yeah,
reality, it's like you have up, you have downs, you have ups, you have
yeah.
downs, and as long as you're learning from those experiences, the trajectory is always like upwards, right? So you might
Mhm.
have some upsetting moments and some offsets, but then you come back stronger. So now you're on this level. You have some experiences, like you learn from those. You're on this level, and then like if you project that journey for like few years, like you become like a savage entrepreneur. Like, because
Yeah,
now
you can break.
your skin is so thick, right? Like your skin
Yeah.
is like, it's like things that would have bothered you, like let's say 6 months ago. Now it's like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, I
all
don't even
right,
care.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember my first like banned ad accounts, like on Facebook. I mean, that's back in the day, and it was like depressing experience, and then like over time it's just like I've met some people. I found
Mhm.
the people that can help with those things, and over time it just became, we have bank account, boom, like within a few hours like we're
Yeah.
back, no problem.
I haven't had a ban account yet, so I'm
Nice.
like knock on wood. I don't. It doesn't happen to me, but I heard it's annoying and super annoying. But I do have PayPal holding me money though, so it's a little blocker. But I'm just getting my way around it as well. So yeah.
Yeah, we have some contacts in the community that can potentially help you with that.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have actually one of our members, like he just got like uh like but yeah, he had like significant amount on PayPal, and he just got it back. And
Mm.
so yeah, so he also PayPal.
Like all at once, or is it like?
Yeah, so yeah, they just released it. Yeah, so which is
Oh wow,
so his
that's
I
good.
think that's his Christmas present. They're like, okay, here's here's some money for you. Buy some Christmas
I see.
presents.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So we have another question here from Jacob. Can you talk about testing strategies when starting out? When to know to kill an ad, etc.
Like me?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I feel like I try a lot of different ways, but then the current strategy that I'm using right now, I would start interest and broad. I would do like three broad, and then whichever one that makes me the first sales, and I'll keep that one going. And then for the other two, I'll turn off. And then for interest, I'll test them out. But I feel like usually I'll say the first 3 days are like super inconsistent overall, throughout all my product that I've tested. So I'll give it like 3 days. Sometimes the first day you might not make a sale. Second day you might make one sale, two sale, three sales. So I'll look for those, and then to see if I'm at the end of day three to see if I'm on a positive ROAS to see if I'm making money, and then from there I'll basically triple duplicate that, and then into a higher budget to see which one makes me the sale first, and then I'll keep that one running and scale that one, and turn off the other two.
Mm,
So yeah, I feel like um, yeah, obviously look for clicks, your CPC to see if they're high, and then yeah.
gotcha.
Does that answer the question? I feel like
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
a
yeah.
little
I
bit.
think I think that covers. Like, yeah. Please, Jacob, please let me know if that answers your question. Also, I think that applies to this question as well from Aziz. How do we go about testing when we have low budget, like 3-5K total?
I think there's a high budget, no?
It's pretty decent one. Yeah, I would say it's Aziz is a baller. Aziz has some
It's the
money
taller
to
for
spend.
sure.
So yeah,
But yeah,
cool. So you joined Brand Builders Academy BBA in April.
in April, correct.
April, yeah. And so did you join like so right after, like, so you got laid off, like you just joined BBA right away?
Yeah, actually got laid off, and I was scrolling through e-commerce. So I was actually looking to join a group. So I was just scrolling and then like researching, not scrolling, researching. Okay. And then yeah, I just found something that I like, seems promising, so I joined. Pretty
Awesome.
much it. Yeah, but it was right off the bat.
Was it
April.
was it like like the first program, or like kind of a course that you joined, or you've had some in the past?
It was the first program that I joined. Yeah, first like course slash program. In the past, I was just learning videos from like YouTube and stuff. But
So what was the mindset shift, right? Because like, yeah, learning from YouTube is obviously, I mean, there's a lot of good content on YouTube. Like you just have to be like probably very, very selective,
Uh-huh.
not to get confused with wrong information. But like, what was the mindset shift that like you decided to invest in the program? It's obviously, again, it's a risk, right? Like, what if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't do well? What if I don't make my money back and stuff? Like, so all of those things that are going through like entrepreneurs' minds, when they're like joining programs. So what was that, like, why you made that decision to invest in yourself and in the program too?
Yeah, I was at first I was actually just looking for a mentor because I knew I wanted to do this, like but I feel like at the end I'm just like if I don't invest in this, that means I'm never gonna I feel like I don't have the right motivation to do this if I don't invest in this. So then if I invest, then I feel like then I really have to do this. It gives me like a reason to like really do this. That's why
Mm.
I did it because I knew I wasn't just gonna invest and leave, right? Like that's just not me. So it gives me a reason. So yeah.
Gotcha. So you almost like kind of decided to put your back against the wall and just like it's like
Yeah.
because yeah, when I'm investing in mentorships, like yeah, we're spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. Like me myself, the team, like that we're investing in them, like to for their skill sets to become better. Also mentorships, masterminds, and it's every time we invest, we're like, yeah, now we actually have to like use it and get the value out of it. So also like you, it adds that extra accountability. I think everyone needs that kind of like accountability and
Mhm.
like back against the wall. Like joining the program itself won't change anything, or course, like it won't,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you have to actually put in the work and use it if you want to get tremendous like ROI from it. And so
Hmm.
you did the same. You're just like, okay, I just want to be committed and kind of get some external help and
Yeah, you still have to put in a lot of work. Make sure don't just join and just lay back. You still have to put into work. But then there are going to be mentors, which essentially that's what I look for, to help guide me, and yeah, and you still have to put in a lot of work. So, but it's worth it at the end.
for sure, my man. So, and how was your experience in Brand Builders Academy so far?
So far it's pretty good. My coach, the coach is nice. The community is nice. There's tons of videos out there that you can watch, that you should watch if you're trying to do it. I think everything is just step by step. Like once you get through it, now you just know how to navigate yourself. Sometimes I don't even have to watch the video just because it's in the back of my head. But then if you have questions, you can always ask them. The community is great. So yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, in this, you pretty much like at this point, like, I mean, initially it's like was more about like learning, and then you do certain things like several times. So now it becomes like just part of your skill set, like the
Yeah.
same way you learn, probably like when you were learning. People
Uh-huh.
like, because people ask me all the time, like, Alex, how do I like learn? Like, I come from like totally different industry. I've never done e-commerce before, and I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, so what do you do? It's like, oh, I'm an engineer. Okay, cool. So before you became an engineer, like, did you know like anything about engineering before you like went to school and learn all those skills? No, I didn't. So now, like, are you good with engineering now after like few years of doing this? Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty solid. I just don't like my job. It's like, okay, e-commerce is the same. It's a skill set that you have to acquire. It's
Uh-huh.
it's and if people look at it like, because some people still look at it like also because of the how it is like promoted, how it is sold like on Instagram, that it's like lifestyle. You just like click few buttons and like money like suddenly appears. Like, it's a skill set, but the beauty of that is that it's a very valuable skill set because you can apply that skill set to like sell pretty much any product that you want. And there's always new products, like you have seen, like there's always new products that are popping off. There's always new opportunities. Like, so as long as you have the skill set of like selling, you can position the product properly, you can create content for it. Like, it's just a tremendously valuable skill set.
Yeah, definitely. I think for every skill sets, including e-commerce, like everything in e-commerce, you still have to like develop. I feel like it for me is kind of like a muscle memory. You know, when I look at maybe a product image or some kind of like ads, I just kind of know, it, it's gonna be a good ad or it's gonna be a bad ad. I should redesign this. You know, I should do this. So everything just kind of flows better once you really put in the time for it. But it's gonna take a while. I'm not gonna lie, but then it will at the end it'll be all worth it.
For sure.
And yeah.
So when you were joining BBA, like were you like nervous or like scared at all?
No, not really. I wasn't really scared because I knew myself. Like I got laid off, I had nothing to lose. You know, like I was dedicated myself. I would super dedicate myself into this. I know this is the only way out. This is this is the only way. And this is the other thing that I've always wanted to do. You know, in the past. So for me, it's an opportunity for me. So I wasn't really scared. I was just like, this is it. This is my time. You know.
I love that. I love that. Man. Like, cause so many dreams die, because people just
Yeah.
kind of like bury them. And like, yeah, one day I'll do like you said, like how many people open Shopify stores? Like there's a lot of people open Shopify
Mhm,
stores. Very small percentage of them actually stick to them and make them successful. And
mhm,
like with any business, like Shopify, just like one example. And if you think about like why, it's kind of like they have that fire maybe at the beginning, they get excited, but then they kind of like, there's other things that are on their plate. They have comfortable job, they think they have job security, and so
mhm.
everything kind of like goes on the back of their mind. But that also kills their dream, like because if internally they want to have the freedom, they want to have the lifestyle, they want to build the generational wealth, and they know that is a vehicle, that is something they can do that can lead them to that outcome, but they're burying it side. It just like it's almost like killing the part of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like for me, when I was doing that, I was just, even though like, it failed in the beginning, like I was like so motivated. I feel like if that was failed in the beginning, it still hits me. But then at the end of the day, it really is just about persistent. Just like consistency is the key to like success.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, like, do you believe e-commerce is too saturated?
Um, Not really. I feel like there's always gonna be scrollers. So there's always gonna be more scrollers.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Like scrollers, people who buy stuff, just like look for stuff to buy.
Like,
I feel like a lot of jobs are dying out there. A lot of jobs are dying out there, are replacing by AI, replacing by like robots and stuff. But I feel like e-commerce is the only thing that's just gonna keep going, unless they build a algorithm where they will automatically make a site, import the products, talk to the supplier, ship out the supplier to their house, which is I don't think is gonna happen. So they always need somebody. They don't need somebody. There's always somebody gonna be doing that middleman. Always somebody that's marketing. I feel like marketing it's a powerful industry that people don't understand. Yeah,
hmm.
I don't think it's ever gonna die out. For marketing.
And it adds also, I mean, you're the creative, like the creative thinking, right? Like behind, like, okay, you see the product, and now
Hmm.
you see like how that product could be positioned, how that product could be sold. Like
Hmm.
that creative thinking is something that, yeah, it's very hard for AI. Like maybe like, I don't know, like 10, 20 years, like AI will get better at that, but it's just something that's very hard for it to crack. Like when
Yeah.
you can connect the dots and like find the product, see how you can advertise that product, see how you can position that product, like
Hmm.
like all of those things, they're like just require the human element and require the actual like critical thinking in order to make it work.
Yeah, I think also you have to really utilize the AI to beat the AI, like so yeah, utilize those robots effectively. I'm sure it'll turn out good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what would you say was the biggest thing that you've learned inside of Brand Builders Academy? that was kind of like a big paradigm shift or big belief shift?
Um, I feel like um, honestly, just talking to coaches. Sometimes uh, sometimes when you're lost, you don't know what to do. Like things are not going great, but it has potential. You just don't know what to do. I feel like coaches would just they're always like so calm. They're always like giving you like advice. Okay, you okay? I think that you should do A, B, C, D, E. And you kind of learn that because they have experience in these, and then like you kind of learn how to just you know if things are not going right, you have to like slow down your pace and really just analyze everything. Everything means like everything, like from your page, your ads, how you set up your Facebook ads, and just see what goes wrong. So stuff, analyzing like stuff makes me. That's what I learned the most. You just have to like stay calm. There's a reason why it's not working. There's a reason why it's working. So you have to like just find the reason why, and then and just go for it.
Mm. Yeah, having that, like, even myself, sometimes you have like something is not working out, or you have to make like some kind of hard decision or like important decision. It's getting perspective from other people
Hmm.
that are not as emotionally attached to what you're doing as you are, is so refreshing, and it's so helpful, because like it's like you putting your like everything, like your blood, sweat, and tears into
Yeah,
like building this business, right? So you're emotionally attached. Sometimes people getting emotionally attached to products,
yeah,
they really want to make those products work. I've done this mistake so many times, and like it was like, I'll make it work, I'll make it work, just kind of like being
yeah.
stubborn with it. And just having that external perspective from someone else is, I think, is so invaluable.
Definitely, yeah.
Cool. So we have another question here from Jacob, tactical one. How much spend do you think is enough for a test? Is $20 a day for 3 days enough? $50 a day, $100 a day? If no add to cart by a certain amount, do you kill the ad set? If no sale by a certain ad spend?
I feel like it depends on how much your product is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because usually I like to test my break even margin, like my margin. Like I start with my margin. If like usually if my ads spend my whole margin without add to cards, then I'll kill it. And yeah, and then maybe it could be like $20 a day or like 25. I don't know. It depends on your margin. Yeah. Sometimes I think 20 is a lot. I think usually these are around like maybe like 15, 10. Yeah, 3 days, and then like see if there's sales, and then you can scale from there. If no sale, yeah, if no sale by day like I say like day 2 or 3, then I'll usually kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't get sales on the first day and get sales on the second day and third day.
Right. Another question from Aziz. What are your criteria for choosing for testing a product? I'm having hard time choosing products to test. Also, it wasn't 5K per test, but in total saved up.
Criteria for testing a product.
Mm-hmm.
What does he mean by criteria? Like, as
Kind
in,
of
like,
like,
how do I set up? Like, what kind of product do I look for? Or
yeah. Like, let's say you have like 20, 30 different products that you could potentially test. Like, which ones would you prioritize out of that list? Which kind of like check marks they have to hit?
excuse me. I'll say anything that makes people comfortable. And then second is obviously like wow factor. If you look at this product from the first second, you're like, I'm gonna click into this because it looks good. It looks cool. Like and then yeah, and then I feel like for those that makes people comfortable, I'm sure somebody out there are curious to buy them, or a lot of people are curious to buy them. and then like I'll just test those product first. And then if you like the risky game, then you can go for it. Like me, then you can go for the wow factor product. Something that looks great, something that has a fan base, and then yeah.
Gotcha. So another one here from Mohammed. When you do your product research, found a product, but you have 10 competitors, do you enter that market? If we're using competitor videos for ads, and they're also using it, wouldn't Facebook know it?
10 competitors is crazy because uh I mean, like, if you if there are 10 known competitors, then I feel like I wouldn't test it, because they're also going to be unknown competitor that hasn't that you probably cannot search it up just yet. But 10 is a lot. I feel like sometimes I've seen in the past where when they're all using the same ads, right? And then like sometimes like maybe like one store, maybe not your store, they're running the same ads as you, and then like they're not shipping out product, they're doing like bad in terms of their customer service, and the people who saw those, like who bought from those ads, will go to your ad, comment on your post, complain about this store doesn't ship out my product, like, and then they would just your basically your audience is just like complaining about left and right, just because that one single store are not doing so well. So but 10 competitors is a lot. I wouldn't do the same product as like 10 competitors.
Got it. Let's use this one as well. How much is the initial investment for starting a brand on average, customizing product, ad spend, and other potential operational expenses? How much, like for you, like how much like
I didn't customize products. I didn't get to that fancy point yet. But for me, like maximum like $1,000 and one credit card. Because wait, where's the question again?
how much is initial investment for
Like,
starting? Mhm.
if I'm starting a brand, on average, I'll say like 1K, like max, like from buying the domain, building the website, and then run Facebook ads, and then you have a lot of room to play with, like a lot of room to play with.
And I think people overcomplicating this part a lot. Like, so for example, like at the beginning, like you don't have to customize the product as long as the product you're sourcing is a decent quality. You can just sell it as is. But then once you validate it and people are buying it, and you want to build like long-term brand around it, that's when you can start, customizing the product, improving the
Mhm.
customer experience. And so I think like and I have seen so many entrepreneurs just taking it like very, very like too seriously from day one. Like for example, they didn't even test the product. They don't even know like what the product is,
Yeah,
something that people want to buy, and they go and invest thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars into that product, and then
hmm
they're trying to sell it, and it turns out people don't even want to buy it. And so I've done this mistake.
yeah. Don't customize your product at first.
Yeah, over time,
Once
like if
you
you see
enter the
people are
product,
buying it. Yeah,
yeah,
and you see
unless
like
you like.
specific like complaints, like maybe like you start selling the product and people complaining about certain features. You can improve the product. You can have version 2.0 of the product, and like you can gradually adjust it and make it better.
Hmm
But like doing that without having like a validation, having sales initially,
hmm
it's I think it's just too much risk.
Yeah, it way too much. I feel like e-commerce itself is already a risky
Yeah.
stuff, like risky like career. If you just adding like random unknown stuff, you're just adding more risk. So make sure that you're doing like something that you're confident with, and that it has the potential.
For sure. So Jacob Callaway, if you were starting over and didn't have budget for creatives, would you take viral TikTok shop creatives and edit, clip them to run on Meta, or how would you get creatives on extremely low budget?
Um, I would go on, let's say, let's see, for creatives, I would go on, depends on, what kind of product, but then sometimes I go on Facebook Ads Library, or I go on Minia. Great app. I just take videos from there, and then sometimes people post TikTok organic videos, and then I'll use those, and then I'll kind of edit myself, put everything together. At the same time when I'm doing that, I'm also ordering the product, shipping to my house, just so I have the product myself and I can make videos of it. And yeah, and then, but usually you should like always like mix and match on your own,
Like with your own content.
with your own content. Here you go.
Yeah, because many of these things, like for example, if the let's say you're selling the product, and like let's say the product has certain features, like you can demonstrate those features, like shooting the content with your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and like you can have your own custom content for the product. Again,
Mm-hmm.
I think the big things for everyone watching is that at the beginning it doesn't have to be fancy. Like people
Right.
people think that like you starting e-commerce business, you have to like have the perfect product, perfect website, perfect ads, like everything has to be like perfect. At the
Mm-hmm.
beginning it can be like very like rough,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Right.
and then sometimes that rough like version works, and like
Yeah.
that's how a lot of businesses were started.
Yeah.
um
My first ad was just an image ad.
yeah,
Right? And
exactly.
you just have to like try on something, and then maybe you get some returns. But yeah, sometimes image ad works. Like you never know.
Yeah, like even this brand called Blend Jet.
Blend, no.
It's a mixer that makes the juices like portable.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. I know. I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, they're I don't know how much revenue they do. I think they're above like 100 million a year. They started with drop shipping. Like,
they did. I think my friend was on that product.
yeah,
That was like a couple years. I don't remember when. I think maybe like 2020 or like 20,
yeah.
even before that, maybe like 28, like 18, something like that.
Man, now it's like everywhere. Now it's like in retail stores. Now it's
Yeah, it was
online.
everywhere.
Now it's like they're doing crazy numbers, and like they didn't start very fancy. I think the
I'll
guy
tell
is also
you,
from
yeah,
California.
definitely. A lot of the product you see like in the store right now, I'm sure they started off as just a dropshipping product. Yeah,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
100%.
As long as you have that, okay, so long term I'll build a brand, something I'm proud of. But the first steps won't be that, like especially if you don't have a lot of capital, you don't have a lot of experience, you have to get those skills first, you have to get that momentum first, and then you can build whatever you want. But like at the beginning, just don't overcomplicate stuff. Like there's
Hmm.
so many things you can just get started with. Shopify, all these drop shipping platforms, suppliers, you can source products, you can do like literally any product you can source and start selling. Once you get started like selling it, now you can brand it, you can improve the packaging, you can improve the shipping experience, like so many
Hmm.
different things you can do. But at the beginning, just keep it simple, get it moving.
Yep.
Don't aim for perfection, just
Yeah.
get something to the market, improve every time, and like
Yep.
you'll get traction.
Yep. Validate the product first before you do all those crazy stuff.
For sure. So, what would you say to someone who's like maybe on the kind of like on the edge or considering joining like Brand Builders Academy? What would you say to those people?
If you're ready to invest, then you got to be ready to work. Like don't just join and wait, because time is money. I feel like not just BBA, but I feel a lot of program. Even my friend was telling me, they joined a program and a lot of people just slack, just like waiting on people to reach out to them. When you join, videos are going to be there, but make sure that reach out to your coach. I think is very important.
Just being proactive, right? Like, so if you join the program, just be ready to be proactive, kind of like just make it like, make the most out of it pretty much, right? Like, here's all the resources at your disposal. just take full advantage of them.
Correct. Yeah. Money is not going to come to you. You know, you
Yeah.
have to reach
Have
for
to
it.
go and pick it up.
Yeah. You have to go and pick it up.
Cool, my man. Good stuff. Super excited about your journey, about your progress, and I think it's very inspirational. And I'm looking forward to always like have these benchmarks. Next time, I want to have a conversation in a few months when you're at 100K a month.
100K a month.
Yeah,
I'll get there. I'll get there. I do have like written plans for the upcoming year. So it's gonna be a lot of work for me. But I'm excited for it. You know, a little bit stressful, but we'll do it. We'll do it.
my man. Yeah, and it's yeah, you'll make it happen. Like in my mind, like it's done. It's already done.
Mhm.
As long as from your side you stick to it, like it's done. Like for example, I had last week I had a conversation with Sina, from our community. He's from Canada.
Mhm.
He was doing like I think 2K a day in sales. When we had a conversation, I told him like next time we chatted, like when you're at 100K a month, and like in 1 week he is already at $5,000 a day, so he's well on
Oh,
his on his way.
that's crazy.
Yeah, he's a great guy, by the way. Yeah, connect with him if you can. Like he's a very sharp guy.
Nice,
um
nice.
very young, 16 or 17. It's incredible.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'll
High school.
introduce you guys.
Oh nice.
Yeah.
High school.
Yeah. Cool, my man. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you so much for coming in, for sharing your story. Again, I think it's tremendously inspiring, and for everyone who's just thinking about the business, kind of like having that fire inside of them that they want to do something different, have more freedom in their life. Just everything is there for you. Like we live in a beautiful time. Like all the
Yeah.
resources are available, technology is available. Like it's so easy to get started.
Hmm.
Like it's just like you have to be proactive from your side and just go after it, and just refuse to give up.
Right. Don't give up. Be
My
consistent.
man,
Opportunities are out there. You just have to grab
for
them.
sure, my man. Thank you so much, Vincent, for joining me
Thank you,
today.
Alex.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Guys, if you have any questions, please just drop them to me on Instagram. This is my Instagram here. Also, yes, I saw someone who was asking for your email. Like, I don't know if
My
you want,
email.
like, yeah, yeah, someone wants to connect with you. So, yeah, just hit me up on Instagram, and we'll
Maybe
take it
Alex
from
would
there.
DM you my email.
Yeah, yeah. Vincent, my man, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank
And
you, Alex.
yeah, see you at 100K a month.
I see you.